Unexpected transformation. Black cleaner-s life-changing secret revealed. Shocking, a millionaire. In the heart of a vibrant urban neighborhood, Grace, a single mother of two, scrubbed with fervor on the polished floors of a penthouse that shimmered with opulence. The sheer contrast of her life, a gritty blend of determination mixed with desperation against the dazzling backdrop of wealth, set her heart racing. Each stroke of the mop, every wipe of the surface, felt like a battle. She was not just a cleaner, she was a warrior in search of a brighter future for her children, Maya and Jordan. With her back aching and the scent of lemon-scented cleaner filling her lungs, Grace couldn't shake the weight on her chest. The hustle and bustle of the small businesses below, taco stands and barbershops that echoed her community's heartbeat, often provided respite. But each time she stepped into Tom's lofty world, the gulf of economic inequality swirled around her like an awakening storm. He was polite enough, exchanging pleasantries, but it was the walls he put up that aggravated her soul. The tension bubbled all the more when her father fell ill. Tears prickled her eyes each night as she tucked her kids in, their innocent dreams a glaring reminder of her own looming shadows. She held on a hope like a lifeline, her father's voice ringing in her ears. "We push forward, no matter what." One day, in frustration and sheer urgency, Grace snapped. "I'm not just a cleaner," she exclaimed, her voice reverberating through Tom's lavish living room. She punched the air, fierce and passionate. "I want to create eco-friendly cleaning products. For my kids, for the planet. I have dreams too, you know." Tom blinked, taken aback. The walls around him seemed to tremble with her fierce declaration. A crack formed in his carefully constructed image. What had he thought? That she was simply a cog in this grand wheel of capitalism? Her words struck him resounding chaos in his ordered life. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. His dismissive attitude from earlier moments was now replaced by confusion. Had he been blind all this time? Her spirited ambition, the fire in her eyes, she was undeniably real. As they stood there, two souls from divergent worlds, Grace began to envision her past woven into a hopeful tapestry of change. But with her father's health slipping, panic surged anew. Would her dream die like the last autumn leaf? Or would Tom step outside his gilded cage and become a true ally? The question lingered, charged with unspoken possibilities. Surrounded by lavish wealth, yet facing a tsunami of adversity, Grace, unyielding and brave, stood at a crossroads. Would she dare to dream and reach for the stars, risking all she and her children had? The air crackled with tension, electrifying both their fates. What would happen next? Would Tom reveal a deep secret that could change everything? Hope hung in the balance, awaiting a decision that would shape their intertwined destinies. Tom took a breath, processing Grace's words. The act of cleaning hadn't just been a job for her. It was a means of survival, a whisper of her dreams that refused to be silenced. He could see the flicker of determination in her eyes, raw and unfiltered. It was an emotion he had buried under layers of privilege, and it shook him in ways he wasn't prepared for. "Grace, wait," he began, as she turned to gather her supplies. Her frustration was palpable, and he couldn't let her storm off without saying something. It felt like a knee-jerk response to a realization he struggled to comprehend. "What you said, I mean, it's inspiring." "I didn't what?" she snapped, not turning to face him. "Understand that people like me have dreams? That I'm worth more than the sum of my cleaning products?" Silence enveloped the space between them, heavy with what lay unspoken. The gleaming kitchen, adorned with dazzling countertops and golden fixtures, suddenly felt cold and unwelcoming. In that moment, Tom had to confront a hard truth. He had valued his wealth over the very spirit of humanity that Grace embodied. "Look, I'm sorry. I might have overlooked a lot." He paused, searching for the right words. "But maybe we could work together? Not just as employer and employee. You pitch me your idea, and I'll help you create that eco-friendly line. I have connections." Grace slowly turned back, surprise etching lines across her face. Hope flickered, but apprehension clung to her tightly. Why would you do that? Because, he hesitated, maybe I need to understand more about the world outside my bubble. Maybe we can help each other. His offer hung in the air, a fragile bridge stretched across the divide between them. She wanted to believe him, but the scars of unfulfilled promises loomed. Let us say I trust you. What if it doesn't work? What if it puts me in an even worse position? Her voice softened, the anger receding just a bit, revealing the vulnerability underneath. Tom stepped closer, his imposing presence somehow more grounded. I promise, Grace, I'll put everything I can into this. It's time someone made a change. You deserve this. Reluctantly, she found herself weighing her options. The flickering lights of ambition danced in front of her, taunting yet inviting. Could she risk the little stability she had in the hope of something greater? The vision of her children's future flooded her mind. What if this was the breakthrough she had been waiting for? All right, she finally replied, surprising herself with the strength of her conviction. Let us explore this. But understand, I'm not just a project for you. I'm a mother, a warrior. His nod was solemn, signifying a quiet understanding of the gravity that came with her words. The weeks that followed turned into a whirlwind of innovation. Ideas burst forth in the early morning hours when Grace's kids still slept, and the quiet of Tom's penthouse transformed into a makeshift laboratory. As they brainstormed and experimented, something shifted between them. Their initial barriers began to fall away, revealing unexpected camaraderie. But just as excitement began to build, Grace received a call that threatened her newfound momentum. Her father's health had taken a turn for the worse, and the doctor's grave tone sent a chill through her spine. She stood frozen, torn between her ambitions and her heart. What would she do now? The very foundation of her hope seemed to tremble beneath her feet. Tom noticed her distress and stepped forward. What's wrong, Grace? I have to go, she whispered, the weight of her world crashing down on her. My dad, his gaze softened, and without missing a beat, he said, then let us take this step together. We'll face it, you're not alone in this anymore. In that moment, the fragile hope they had nurtured swayed under the weight of reality, igniting questions in the air. Would Grace find the strength to keep pursuing her dreams while caring for her family? And was Tom truly committed to stepping outside his privileged life for her? As they stood side by side, facing an uncertain future, both felt the stirring of something new growing between them, a promise that this journey would change more than just Grace's life. What would they discover about each other and themselves? Time would tell. Grace felt the weight of Tom's words hang in the air, not just as a promise, but as a lifeline. She wasn't sure how much help she could accept right now, especially with the turmoil swirling around her life. Her father's fragility sent a shiver down her spine each time her phone rang, and as she stood there, the uncertainty of her path ahead loomed large. Tom looked at her with a mix of concern and determination. Do you want me to come with you? He offered, a genuine openness in his eyes. No, she said quickly, surprising herself with the forcefulness of the word. This is something I need to do alone. But thank you. She turned away, needing to gather her thoughts, aware of the emotions clashing within her. Reaching for her purse, she felt a small flutter of hope, a reminder that she wasn't diving completely into the unknown. With an eco-friendly product still in the works, maybe she could honor her father while also fighting for something better. Do you want me to hold down the fort here? Tom asked, stepping back slightly, allowing her to breathe. Yeah, that would help. The words felt surprisingly light on her tongue, almost liberating. Just keep the ideas flowing, okay? I promise I'll be back as soon as I can. As she slipped out of the penthouse, the cool air hit her, invigorating yet sobering. She pressed her lips together, not allowing the anxiety to take root. Her father had always been her rock, and the thought of losing him unraveled a part of her she had fought hard to keep tucked away. Arriving at the hospital, she navigated the sterile corridors filled with muted voices and the scent of antiseptic. With each step closer to his room, her heart raced, not from fear but the need to hold on to every precious moment. Grace. Her father's voice broke through the haze of her thoughts, lifting her spirit. Seeing him propped up in bed, pale and frail, struck her like lightning. But even in his diminished state, he wore a smile that made her heart swell. Hey, Dad, she breathed, rushing to his side. How are you feeling? Like I've been run over by a truck, he joked weakly, trying to lighten the mood. But I'm all right. How is my girl? I'm figuring things out, she replied, brushing the hair back from his forehead. Is that so? His eyes glimmered with curiosity. You look like you're up to something big. Spill it. She hesitated, torn between wanting to shield him from worry and longing to share her dreams. Well, I partnered with someone. She began cautiously, watching for his reaction. Yes, different. A millionaire who's willing to invest in my ideas. His brows raised in surprise. A millionaire? You, Grace? It's more complicated than that, she admitted, feeling the weight of her ambitions clash against the reality of family obligations. I've always known you were destined for bigger things. His words wrapped around her like a warm embrace, bolstering her resolve. Don't forget to chase that dream, honey. Life is too short. With each word, his encouragement seeped into her soul. It reignited the fire within her, reminding her of every struggle she had faced and all the sacrifices her family had made. The path she envisioned wasn't just about her anymore. It was also for her father, for her children. Days turned into nights as they spent as much time together as they could. Yet every moment of laughter was marred by the ticking clock that reminded her of his fragility. Back at Tom's penthouse, he immersed himself in their project, pushing each idea forward with a fervor unknown to him until now. He liked the challenge of merging eco-friendliness with effectiveness, but a void lingered in the space where Grace's laughter had once filled the as the days progressed. An idea began to take root in his mind. In his heart, he yearned to create more than just a product. He wanted to create a legacy that celebrated Grace's spirit. But then he received a call. It was from Grace. Tom, I need to talk, she said urgently, her voice tinged with fear. Is everything okay? His pulse quickened, knowing that the stakes had shifted dramatically. I'm not sure, she replied, swallowing hard. I need you here. There's something I've discovered that could change everything. The gravity of her words hung in the air. What revelation awaited them? And would it be the key to the breakthrough they both so desperately sought? Grace stood in the hospital hallway, clutching her phone like a lifebuoy. The news she had just stumbled upon felt monumental, yet the waves of uncertainty threatened to pull her under. She took a deep breath, trying to reassemble her scattered thoughts. She had come here to be with her father, but now something was tugging at her heart, pulling her back into the chaos of her everyday life. That Tom's voice echoed in her mind. Something I've discovered. It was a whisper of hope wrapped in a blanket of fear, and she couldn't shake it off. Approaching the elevator, she pressed the button, willing the doors to open and take her to a place where she felt anchored, at least for a moment. The sterile scent of the hospital lingered in her nostrils, but it was nothing compared to the weight of possibility that bubbled inside her. As the elevator hummed upwards, her mind flashed back to her recent conversations with one of the nurses, a woman named Lisa who had shared insights about the industry Grace wanted to break into. Lisa was vibrant, with a keen understanding of the eco-friendly products that were gaining traction, exactly the niche Grace sought to dominate. What if there was more to Lisa's story? More that could link her to the environmental movement pulling at the edges of Grace's heart? She reached her father's room and stepped in quickly. The sight of him brightened her mood momentarily. His smile was a balm for her anxious spirit. Hey, sunshine. You got that look again. What's buzzing in that brain of yours? He asked, feigning lightness, but his eyes held concern. Dad, I've been thinking. You know Lisa, the nurse? She mentioned something about a connection between eco-friendly products and a specific community? He echoed, furrowing his brow. Yeah, she continued, feeling the excitement bubbling. I think I can help market our product through her network. It's a way to not only help the planet, but also to ensure that we're supporting the community. It could change everything. He nodded slowly as she spoke, letting the weight of her ideas fill the space between them. You always did have a knack for finding opportunity in the most unlikely places, he said, his eyes sparking with pride. But remember, sweet girl, dreams don't work unless you do. You've got to put in the effort. A soft laugh bubbled up, her father's spirit lifting hers. Right, I'm on it. But I can't do it alone. That's where Tom comes in. His eyebrows shot up, piquing his interest. Tom, what is he doing in all this? She hesitated. Should she tell him everything? He's all in with the idea, Dad. It's more than just business. It feels personal now. I think this could be our chance. He looked serious for a moment. Just make sure you're in it for the right reasons. Sometimes ambition can cloud judgment. His advice struck a chord, and a tingle of vulnerability swept through her. I know it's a risk, but I need to try. For us, for you. As she said the words, it felt like a promise. Suddenly, the door swung open and Lisa stepped in, her presence like a gust of fresh air. Grace, sorry to interrupt, but I was just looking for you. There's something we need to discuss. The excitement in her voice shot adrenaline through Grace's veins. This discussion was about to unveil so much more than she anticipated. What is going on? Grace asked, turning toward Lisa, heart pounding. It's about something I found out. It could potentially change how we approach everything. I really think you'll want to hear this, Lisa said, locking eyes with Grace. In that moment, the world around her faded away, the sound of the hospital, the reassuring presence of her father. All that mattered was the possibility unfolding right before her. What was this revelation that had Lisa so eager? What crossroads lay ahead? With her heart racing, Grace nodded eagerly. Let us talk. The weight of the moment settled on her. Yet, somewhere deep inside, a spark of hope ignited fiercely. What if this was the breakthrough she had been longing for all along? Would it bring her one step closer to a legacy that would carry not just her dreams, but her father's spirit? As she followed Lisa, a question lingered in her mind. Would this be the moment that would shift everything for her family, and for the world she longed to change? Grace followed Lisa down the sterile corridor, her heart racing like a drum in her chest. Lisa led the way with quick, purposeful strides, her enthusiasm a bright thread woven through the dull atmosphere. The fluorescent lights above buzzed softly, but Grace could hardly hear them over the swell of anticipation in her ears. They reached a small conference room. Lisa turned, closing the door behind them. The faint scent of fresh paint mixed with cleaning supplies lingered, a reminder of the hospital's perpetual cycle of hope and despair. Lisa leaned against the table, her eyes alight with excitement. I've been doing some digging into sustainable products that cater to specific communities. You know, the eco-friendly market is bigger than we think, and I found something that links right back to your idea. Grace leaned forward, eager to catch every word. What did you discover? Lisa hesitated for a brief moment, as if weighing the importance of her next words. I found a black cleaning product line that's been flying under the radar. It's created by a community group in need of support, and they've been struggling to expand. Their mission resonates deeply with what you want to achieve. That's incredible. Grace felt a rush of adrenaline. If we partner with them, it could open so many doors. Do they have a sustainable way of packaging, too? Yes, Lisa replied, her smile broadening. It's all recycled materials. Their methods not only clean, but also promote community wellness. It's a perfect fit for you. Grace's mind raced. This could be the chance she'd been waiting for. What's the catch? Lisa took a deep breath, her expression growing serious. They Haven Tea had exposure. Their funding has been limited, and they could use a voice. The community deserves to be seen and heard, but they're hesitant to trust outsiders. So, they need someone like me to bridge that gap, Grace said, her thoughts tumbling rapidly. I can help give them a platform. But how do we approach this? Lisa nodded, her enthusiasm sparking a fire in Grace's heart. You pitch a partnership. We can emphasize your shared values, how impactful this could be for both sides. However, we have to approach them with respect for their mission. We can't come in as saboteurs. The weight of responsibility settled over Grace. I don't want to exploit them. This isn't just about business. It's about making a genuine change. Exactly. You have to come at it with an open heart. If they feel that sincerity, they might just see the value in working with you. Grace's mind spun. Could this truly be the start of something magnificent? It felt like a dream she had longed for, a bridge between her ideas and the urgent needs of the community. However, one nagging thought pushed through the excitement of fear of failure. What if I can't prove myself? What if I let everyone down? Think about your dad, Lisa said gently. You were ready to take that risk for him, right? Think of what you could achieve with this partnership for countless others. This is about more than just you. It's about legacy. The mention of her father wrapped her in warmth, igniting a sense of purpose within her. It wasn't just business. It was a chance to make her father proud, to be a part of something larger than herself. Okay, let's do this, she declared, a fierce determination swelling in her chest. Just as they started outlining plans, the door swung open abruptly. A frazzled nurse poked her head in, her eyes darting between them. "Lisa, we need you back on the floor. There's an emergency." The urgency in her voice knocked Grace back to reality. "I'll be right back," Lisa said, flicking her hand as if swatting away Grace's worries. Left alone in the room, Grace's thoughts crawled forward, drafting a vision of what could be. What would it take to build that bridge? In a matter of moments, everything could change. But was she ready to be the voice that championed this cause? With a newfound fire in her heart, she pondered her next steps. What if this really could be her way of making a mark? And then the weight of doubt reappeared. What would happen if she failed? As she sat alone, grappling with her thoughts, a notification pinged on her phone. It was a message from Tom. "I just uncovered something else, something bigger. We need to talk." She frowned, curiosity bubbling. What could be bigger than this? The unease in her chest returned, mixing with a desperate hope. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of revelations that would shake everything she thought she knew. What precisely had Tom found? Was it connected to her journey in ways she couldn't yet anticipate? Grace's heart raced as she stared at the message from Tom. Something bigger? The words echoed in her mind, each syllable heavy with intrigue. What could he have found that would be more crucial than the promise of the partnership with the cleaning product line? She briefly considered tumbling into panic, but quickly shook it off. This was about her future, her chance to make a difference, and she couldn't afford to let uncertainty rule her. With Lisa gone, the sterile conference room felt larger somehow, as if the walls had closed in during her anxious pondering. Grace pulled her phone from the table, her fingers hovering over the screen as if the answer lay hidden in plain sight. But she knew she needed to get her head right first. Sitting up straight and taking a calming breath, she sent Tom a quick response. "What did you find? I'm available anytime." As she hit send, she glanced around the room, her eyes landing on the whiteboard covered in hastily scribbled ideas from their earlier conversation. Words like community, legacy, and impact stared her in the face, reminding her why she was here. This wasn't just some corporate gig. It was her chance to breathe life into the vision she had nurtured for so long. Moments later, the phone buzzed again. "Can we meet in 30? I think you'll want to hear this in person." Grace felt a flicker of excitement surge through her. "Sure. Where?" "Coffee shop downstairs, 10 minutes. The urgency in his words sent her heart leaping into her throat. She grabbed her bag and took a moment to collect herself. This was happening, and she needed to be ready for whatever lay ahead. If Tom had discovered something that could undo or elevate everything, she had to seize it. As she descended the stairs, Grace's mind whirled. She scanned the bustling hospital lobby, automatically checking for Lisa as if her presence would anchor her. But Lisa was nowhere in sight, and Grace realized this was hers alone to navigate now. It felt exhilarating and terrifying all at once. Walking into the coffee shop, the comforting aroma of roasted beans enveloped her. Tom was already seated at a corner table, his expression both serious and animated. His eyebrows shot up as he saw her approach, and he motioned for her to sit down. "You're going to want to hear this," he said, leaning in. Grace felt her stomach knot with anticipation. "What is it?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "I've been researching that community group you mentioned," he said. "Their cleaning product line is just the tip of the iceberg. The founder, a woman named Amina, has deep ties to a historical movement for ecological justice. There's way more at stake here than just a partnership." "What do you mean?" Grace felt the air shift, her curiosity igniting. "Let me show you." He pulled out a battered folder, opening it to reveal newspaper clippings, documents, and photos of protests, community gatherings, and most importantly, an impressive network of supporters who had previously been overlooked. Grace's heartbeat quickened as she processed what this could mean. "Amina is sitting on a gold mine of community engagement," Tom continued. "If you engage with her properly, this could expose some very deep-seated issues that need addressing. It aligns perfectly with your vision for sustainable products." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. "But you'll have to tread carefully. There are people within that movement who won't trust easily." The enormity of what Tom was saying left Grace breathless. Everything she had dreamed of was unfolding before her, but so were the challenges. She felt a responsibility pressing down on her. Could she truly navigate this and honor the path laid out by Amina and her group? Just then, a notification buzzed on her phone. A message from Lisa popped up. Just heard some concerning talk from the board. They may not back your proposal. Grace's heart sank. Questions raced through her mind. Would she have the approval of the community she intended to help? Could she truly make an impact? Before she could respond to Lisa, Tom leaned in closer, his voice low. Grace, are you ready for this? It could shake things up at the hospital, but you need to be prepared for everything it may bring. Her mind flashed with images of her father, the dreams they had shared, now her guiding star in this pursuit of change. I'm ready, she declared. Though doubt and excitement battled within her, she shared her vision with Tom, imagining the potential impact. The weight merged into something lighter. Somehow, things were aligning. They would challenge the status quo together. But just as she reached a peak of hope, another pang of worry struck. What if they don't want to be challenged? The uncertainty hung in the air, a storm brewing just out of sight. Grace had a choice to make, one that would ripple through her life and the lives around her. Would she plunge into the tumultuous waters or hold back in safety? With that looming question driving her, she felt an unseen force guide her forward. What was around the corner, and would she be strong enough to face it? As Tom listened to Grace's breathless enthusiasm, he leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. Look, this isn't just a business deal to them. It's personal. Amina's group has fought hard for their community and their beliefs. They need someone who truly understands and represents their struggles, not just an interested party riding the wave of success. Grace felt a wave of determination wash over her. This wasn't merely about cleaning products. It was about justice and visibility. She had spent too long dreaming, now it was time to act. Then we must show Amina that I'm committed to this. I want to meet her, she said, her voice firm, even as a tremor of apprehension slipped through. Tom nodded, pleased. That's the spirit. But I suggest you talk to her in a place where they feel safe. Rushing into this might backfire. Where do you think? Grace asked, already mentally mapping out her timeline. There's a community center just a few blocks away. It's been a hub for activists in the area. If you go there and pitch your ideas in person, it'll show sincerity. He leaned forward. But go with humility. They've seen their fair share of empty promises. Grace found herself nodding. I can do that. I'll bring some materials that reflect our shared vision on sustainability. The conversation shifted as the two brainstormed the best approaches to Amina. Grace felt the electric buzz of possibility mingling with her anxiety. She knew there'd be challenges, but her father's voice echoed in her mind. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's facing it. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, and this time it was a call from Lisa. Heart sinking, Grace hesitated but answered. Hey Lisa. Grace, I'm really worried. Lisa's voice came through, strained. They're reshuffling priorities at the board meeting. They want to focus on quick returns, not long-term projects. Your proposal, it might get sidelined. You need to push harder. I'm aware. I'm meeting with Amina's group to discuss a partnership that aligns with their mission, Grace replied, stealing her resolve. There was a pause on the line. Just be careful. They might not react well to outsiders, especially if they sense you're just looking for a way to boost your image. I know, Grace breathed heavily, chewing her lip. But I have to try. This is bigger than just business, it's about real change. You're right, Lisa said slowly. Just be prepared for the backlash. Sometimes the strongest storms come from the calmest skies. Hanging up, Grace felt the weight of Lisa's concern settle deep in her chest. Even as resolve surged, doubt creeped in. Was she truly ready for the turmoil this could unleash? She locked eyes with Tom, who had silently observed her conversation. Forget the board for a moment, he urged gently. Focus on Amina and the community. Taking a deep breath, Grace swallowed her fear and nodded. You're right. I need to concentrate on what really matters. After finishing their drinks, Grace and Tom stepped outside into the cool air. The sun had dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. She looked around, feeling the energy of the city pulse around her. We can tackle this together, Grace, Tom said, laying his hand on her shoulder. You're not alone in this. As they approached the community center, her stomach fluttered with a mix of hope and anxiety. What if they didn't believe in her? What if they refused to engage? Pushing open the heavy glass door, they entered a bustling room filled with voices and laughter. Artwork lined the walls, reflecting the spirit of the community. Grace felt an undeniable connection to the people who were making a difference. As she scanned the faces in the crowd, a woman caught her eye, standing with a group confident, passionate, and undeniably formidable. Amina, heart pounding, Grace whispered to Tom. That's her I think I have to approach. Just be yourself, he encouraged. Speak from the heart. With every step towards Amina, questions tumbled in Grace's mind. Would Amina listen? Would she accept her? As she reached out a hand, Amina turned, her expression unreadable. And you are? A piercing gaze locked onto Grace's, the air thick with unspoken weight. Could she break through the barriers and earn their trust? The moment hung delicately in the balance. I'm Grace, she said, extending her hand. And I believe we can create something incredible together. But in that instant, darkness flickered just behind Amina's gaze, piquing Grace's curiosity and fears. What hidden truths lay beneath the surface of this encounter? With uncertainty swirling, Grace took a deep breath. Would this be a partnership that changed everything? Or would it unravel in ways she couldn't predict? What came next might just turn her world upside down. Amina's gaze remained steady, analyzing Grace as if she were trying to decipher a complicated puzzle. Grace felt exposed, her heart racing. Would her intentions prove pure in this charged atmosphere? Why are you here, Grace? Amina finally asked, her voice calm but laced with caution. I want to help, Grace replied, gathering courage. I believe we can work together for a more sustainable future for both our communities and our businesses. Amina raised an eyebrow, crossing her arms. Many have come with promises before. What makes you different? The question hung heavy between them. Grace looked around. The walls were adorned with colorful murals representing resilience and solidarity. I'm not here to just sell a product, she said. I want to partner with you in a way that gives your community a voice, a stake in what we create together. There was a flicker of interest in Amina's eyes, but suspicion lingered, too. You don't know the history. You don't know what you're venturing into, she warned. It's not just business for us. It's personal. The sincerity in Amina's voice resonated with Grace. I understand that, she said gently. I know I'm stepping into something complex, but I'm willing to learn. I want to fight for what matters, not just for profit. Amina looked at Grace, weighing her words. She moved slightly, breaking their locked gaze for just a moment, scanning the room where activists were engaged in animated discussions. Grace seized the opportunity to share her vision. I have materials information about how we can create eco-friendly products that align with your values, she said. If you let me, I'd love the chance to present them, to show how we could support each other. Amina sighed, still guarded. You'll need more than ideas. In a world of false promises, we need commitment. We need trust. If you want this partnership to thrive, it has to be authentic. I can show you that, Grace insisted, her resolve hardening. But trust takes time, doesn't it? Hopefully, we can take the first steps together. After a tense silence, Amina nodded slowly. All right, let us meet again and discuss. We can see if your plans fit within our goals. But I'll be watching closely. Remember, I'm not easily impressed. Grace felt relief wash over her. This was a small victory, but it felt monumental. Thank you, Amina, she said, a smile breaking through her anxiety. Don't thank me yet. We still have to figure out if we're on the same path, Amina replied, her demeanor softening just a fraction. Just then, a shout erupted from the other side of the center, pulling their attention toward a commotion. Two people were arguing fiercely, their voices cutting through the warm hum of the room. As Grace turned her head, Amina's features stiffened again. Trouble, Amina muttered, striding towards the noise. Stay close. Grace followed, her heart racing. Was this a glimpse of the challenges she'd face within the community? The climbing tension was palpable, an energy that snapped through the air like static. The crowd had formed a tight circle, and as Grace pushed closer, she could hear snippets of the argument, a forbidden rumor nestled in the dust of half-spoken names. Something about old wounds being reopened, divisions within the very community she wanted to support. What is going on? Grace asked, her voice nearly drowned in the rising tension. Amina didn't respond immediately, her eyes narrowed, focusing intently. Just watch, she said, an edge of warning tinging her tone. If you want to understand, this is where it starts. Grace's pulse quickened, her mind whirling. Was this what she would have to navigate if she genuinely wished to partner with Amina and her community? A wave of uncertainty crashed over her, but also an undeniable determination. As the voices grew louder, the tension felt electric. Grace realized she was standing at the precipice of something powerful, both terrifying and essential. Would she be able to weather the storm of conflict and find common ground? Or would her commitment lead her into deeper chaos? Remember, Grace, Amina said, barely above the din, this is just the beginning. What deeper truths would the confrontation reveal, and how would Grace's resolve be tested next? The circle of onlookers grew wider, murmurs weaving through the crowd like a rhythmic pulse. Grace felt the heat of their stares, a mix of curiosity and disapproval washing over her. Amina stood her ground, eyes fixated on the argument. It was clear that this was about more than just a disagreement. It was a clash of pain, beliefs, and identities. The tall man with a thick beard gestured emphatically, his voice cracking as he shouted, "We can't keep pretending that everything is okay. Not after what they did to us." His words echoed, igniting nods and gasps around the assembly. What did they do? Grace leaned into Amina, her voice a whisper amidst the rising emotions. Amina remained focused, the tension rippling through her body as she studied the man. "They took from us," Amina replied tightly. "Took our land, our dignity. It's a history far from over." A flicker of understanding sparked in Grace. This was the legacy of wounds still fresh in the community's collective memory. It was a stark reminder that her intentions, however pure, were stepping onto a battlefield fraught with trust issues, anger, and years of unresolved conflict. The young woman stepped forward, her voice steady even amid the chaos. "But we have to move forward. We have a chance to build something new." Her words sparked various reactions, some fiery, others supportive. Grace could feel the tightrope tension of hope and resistance in the air. Amina turned to Grace, determination flickering in her eyes. "The wounds run deep. To build a partnership, we have to respect that." Grace nodded, adrenaline flooding her veins. "I get it. I'm not here to erase history. I want to listen and understand. Maybe even help heal some of those wounds." But as another voice joined the fray, denouncing the idea of partnership with outsiders, Grace's heart sank a little. "You think they care? They only want our resources." The belief echoed like a bitter truth among them. Doubts lingered, thick and heavy. Just then, a figure emerged from the back of the crowd, a woman whose presence seemed to quiet the flames of confrontation momentarily. She was older, her hair smooth but streaked with gray, and her face was a landscape of experience and resilience. "Enough," she said, her voice calm yet powerful. "We've fought hard to maintain our identity. Fighting among ourselves only gives them what they want to see, us scattered and divided." Silence blessed her words as the crowd absorbed the meaning. She continued, "If we are to find a way forward, we need allies who understand our struggle and want to uplift it." But her eyes darted to Grace, piercing through the lingering doubts. This must be earned, not given. Grace felt the weight of that gaze, as if the woman was unveiling the truth of her heart. She realized the woman wasn't just advocating for the community. She was a guardian of its spirit. "Let us give her a chance," the woman concluded, "but on our terms. We want to be pawns." Softly, Grace exhaled, each breath calming the turmoil inside her. It was daunting to think that trust could take root in such rocky soil, but she had to believe it was possible. After a long pause, Amina moved closer to Grace, her expression shifting. "Are you ready for this?" Her tone was less guarded now, a mixture of openness and challenge. "I don't know what it will take," Grace replied, urgency lacing her voice. "But I'm willing to learn, to fight for this alongside you." As the crowd began to disperse, the air still thick with lingering tension, Grace felt something shift inside of her. A spark of hope ignited, however fragile. But she couldn't ignore the gnawing anxiety that swirled within. What would happen next? Would her determination be enough to guide her through this storm? And as they walked together away from the fray, Amina paused, looking back at Grace, a new challenge lingering in her gaze. "You've taken the first step, but trust me, this journey will test every bit of your spirit." Could Grace rise to the challenge and find a way forward in a world ripe with unresolved pain? Or would her commitment crumble under the weight of history? Grace left the community center, the evening sky draped in a soft twilight. She felt a mix of exhilaration and dread swirling within her. Would her determination withstand the storms ahead? With Amina at her side, they had taken a small step, but a long road stretched before them. As they walked, Amina spoke about the community's struggles, their history echoing in every word. Each story was a thread, woven into a tapestry of pain that ran deep. Grace listened, her heart heavy yet determined. She felt a poignant connection begin to sprout. "I want to be part of that legacy, Amina," she said earnestly, "to help amplify your community's voice, not drown it out." Amina regarded her, the spark of cautious hope softening her features. "Your willingness to learn matters. But know this trust isn't simply granted. It's earned through sincerity and shared trials." With those words, Grace felt a flicker of warmth. Maybe, just maybe, they could navigate this together. In the days that followed, Grace plunged headfirst into the journey of building a bridge between her ambitions and Amina's community. Each meeting brought new revelations. Ideas flowed like an unstoppable river, shaping their collaboration. They developed a plan to create eco-friendly cleaning products with deep roots in the community, ensuring fair representation in every step. As excitement mounted, Grace also received frequent updates from Tom. His unwavering support underpinned her ambitions, yet uncertainty brewed in her mind. What if it all falls apart? She confided one afternoon. What if I fail to secure their trust? Tom leaned back in his chair, eyes glowing with sincerity. This is about more than business. You are showing them your commitment, showing that you care. You can't control how others perceive you, but you can control your actions. Those words resonated deep, fanning the flames of her resolve. But just as things began to crystallize, a cloud loomed. The board meeting at the hospital had approached. Rumors of Grace's proposal being sidelined floated through the air. She felt like she was standing on the edge of a precipice, heart racing with both anticipation and fear. "Lisa," she said, pacing frantically in the hospital lobby, "I can't let this happen. We need their backing to keep this project alive. Not just for me, but for the community." "I know," Lisa replied, urgency threading her voice. "But remember what you've built with Amina. That might be the lifeline you need now more than ever. They'll soon see the true value of your ideas beyond just product profits." Her words sunk in deep, reminding Grace of the sense of purpose she had forged with Amina. That was not just a fleeting thought. It was a foundation born from understanding and genuineness. Realization blossomed in Grace's heart as she rallied her thoughts. "You're right. I can use this board meeting as a voice for community impact. Not promoting myself, but fighting for all our shared ambitions." Determined, she prepared a presentation that echoed their partnership, how real change rooted in collaboration could benefit everyone, including the board's interests. The heat of passion fueled her as she rehearsed in front of Tom, speaking fervently about justice, sustainability, and trust. The night before the meeting, her thoughts flickered back to Amina, to the promise she had made. "I will fight for this." Tomorrow would be her opportunity to not just speak of dreams, but to stand resolutely for them as well. The day arrived, and Grace stood facing the board, clad in unwavering confidence. Her soul ignited like fireworks, bright and loud. As she unveiled the partnership with Amina's community, the room felt electric with anticipation. Today is not just about improving profits, it's about improving lives. It's time we open our hearts and understand the power of community. Together, we can create something far greater than what we can do alone. Grace spoke passionately, watching her words ignite nods of agreement. When the meeting ended, applause erupted. They had listened. The board acknowledged the importance of social responsibility, viewing Grace's plan through fresh eyes. She felt a tireless surge of hope. She was ready for the next chapter, armed with purpose and new alliances. Back in the community center, Amina greeted Grace with palpable excitement after the news broke. "Did they understand?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "They did. They see the value in partnership," Grace exclaimed, joy bursting from her chest. "Then let us celebrate this moment. It's the first step towards many more." The energy between them shifted, united now. A warrior and her allied, in the heart of it all. Grace felt her father's spirit guiding her, pushing her forward. She stood amidst the vibrant community that had bloomed around her, empowered, and unwavering. Together, they would navigate the tides of change and build a legacy of hope, a commitment to uplift, transform, and ignite new dreams as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with colors of resilience. Grace embraced the truth that she had fought so hard to discover. She was more than just a cleaner. She was a beacon of change, a warrior of the new future. And in that moment, she knew it wasn't just about her dreams anymore. It was about a brighter tomorrow, shared and nourished together. Now, your turn to step into this transformative journey. If you loved witnessing Grace's incredible journey, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, because you have the power to spread this story far and wide. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. We want to hear your thoughts. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support can make all the difference.